Miami English is a variety of English that's spoken here in the United States. My research looked into how Spanish was influencing the English in Miami. I got my Master's of Linguistics at Florida International University, and while I was studying there, one of my projects was to go out into the world and go out into Miami because it is a very interesting place to study linguistics for a variety of reasons. We have Spanish, we have Creole, we have Portuguese, we have all these different types of Spanishes that are coming together too. And so I started hearing these different expressions that seemed a little bit different than what I'm accustomed to hearing. Ended up, unfolding into this whole project that has come to be known now as Miami English. It's hard to sort of pinpoint when it began. It's probably been around since the 60s, when the Cuban Revolution began. These waves of different Cuban immigrants that came through had started to intermingle, right, with the English that was already there. And what the really interesting thing is that monolingual English speakers, so people who just speak English in Miami, use these expressions. So that's how widespread they are. Some examples are make the line, right? And that comes from the Spanish hacer la cola or hacer la fila. Right? So hacer in Spanish is a verb that's used it translates to do or to make. So literally translating that into English, it's translated into make the line, right? Because it comes from that verb in Spanish, versus get into line or I went through the line. Another example that comes directly from Spanish is get down from the car. So in Spanish, we use bajar to get out of, right? We might say get out of the car in different Englishes. In Spanish, we say casarse con, to get married with someone. So in English, right, in our variety of English, at least here in Buffalo, we might say just get married to someone, right? But in Miami English, you might hear get married with someone. And this started as a master's project, right? And then it did turn into my thesis, but after that, we continued to work on it, to have it published, and then to get the sort of spotlight that it got is really awesome. And what's the best part about it though is that people really identified with this study. It actually connected to a community. And that's really important to me because what is research without connecting and supporting communities of people? It's supposed to be for them. It's supposed to further things, right? And for everybody to enjoy and to understand, not just for the research community. So for me, that's the most important thing about that.